Hello and welcome in to another edition of the Wasatch Football Show. It's a big week here in the state of Utah along the Wasatch Front, arguably the biggest football event of the year here in Wasatch. I'm Calvan Johnson. Joining me in the booth to break down its Holy Week, Rivalry Week, BYU versus Utah. I'm joined by BYU insider and superfan Jordan Long. Jordan, how you doing today?
Doing good. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Can you just feel it? Can you feel the energy in the air as you go about your day this week?
I've been feeling it for a month now.
Feeling it for a month now. I have to tell you, we're broadcasting live from Pleasantville, Utah, roughly the midway point between BYU campus and Utah campus, about 35% of the way there at least. And just driving from my home in South Utah County here, I must have seen three vehicles with Utah flags and three vehicles with BYU flags.
Oh, nice, for sure. Nice.
People are taking note, people are getting excited. The question is then, Jordan, let me ask you this. What does the rivalry really mean to Utah sports community in general?
I think that it gives the Utah sports community something to look forward to, something to be proud of. I feel like one of the big things that separates college football from NFL, makes it different, are those heated, 100-year-long rivalries.
So much history.
And the fact that BYU, state of Utah, has, one of those rivalries that are, go down in the books as one of the greatest rivalries of all time. I think it gives us something to be proud of, something to get our hands on, and something to have the whole nation watching this.
Of note, one of the oldest rivalries in the country, although the two teams not used to agreeing with each other, can't necessarily agree when the rivalry started. There were games when BYU was known as BYA, Brigham Young Academy. Those date back to the 1800s. The University of Utah would like to count that on their win total. BYU is not much to speak of. But BYU started playing for the Bun, I believe, in 1922, according to my notes. In the early years, it was a very one-sided rivalry. The University of Utah, the state public school, winning almost every matchup right up until just before World War II. That gets followed, Utah still had the edge. Basically, all the way up until the 1970s. Here's a fun fact for you. 1960s, Utah wins the series 7-3. 1970s, a guy named Calvan Edwards comes from. Ever heard of him? Calvan Edwards puts that around. BYU wins the 70s, 7 games to 3. BYU explodes the 80s. They bring up national championship. They bring several national individuals. They win the 80s 9-1. The 90s, things begin to switch around. It's a 5-5 split. Ron McBride continues. The 2000s, it's a 5-5 split. The 2010s, it's been a one-way affair. BYU has lost 6 straight to the University of Utah going into Saturday's game. And frankly, in the last few years, things have really gone down a bit, at least in my observation. It's done one with rivalries that no people think. What do you think of this?
Yeah, for sure. I personally think it's definitely still a thing. I agree it's gone down, but I feel like a lot of that kind of came from the coaches at both schools. You could tell that Calvan and Jordan
No love lost.
were not getting together, which was very different from what we had before with McBride and Edwards. They were great friends, and they were respectful on the field. That maybe wasn't always the case between Jordan and Kyle. Nothing against them, both amazing coaches and great men, and both great. But I think we're looking for a turnaround now with Kalani Sitake and his relationship with the University of Utah and Kyle Brigham already in a place. I think that will help push the rivalry back more to a more respectful disagreement.
Let's hope so. It's often been said that social media can be a loaded gun. Social media absolutely has been detrimental to the stability of this rivalry. It used to be the 1% of knucklehead Ute fans and the 1% of knucklehead BYU fans would Grant and Raven, their kitchen table, and nobody moved. And now they ran Raven, and it instantly goes out to thousands of people. Like you mentioned, a big difference in coaches. Going all the way back to Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer kind of ended any friendship between the coaching officers, and then Mendenhall and Whittingham probably won't be getting together for a tea party anytime soon. And as you mentioned, Kalani Sitake, second-year coach at BYU, entire coaching staff. For a while, he was kind of the assumed successor in line at the University of Utah head coaching position whenever Whittingham decides to hang up the cleats. Spent a year at Michigan State. This is his second year here at Brigham Young University. So let's dive right into it. What are your observations on Kalani Sitake's in his second year? 2 games up, 2 games down. Not necessarily the results that a lot of BYU faithful had in mind. What were you seeing against Michigan State and especially against Tennessee?
I think there's one thing that you can really look at, and that's the defense. And it's difficult. It's difficult to tell because you're looking at a team like Portland State, right? We're talking about FCS team. And you're looking at a team that has a shot at making it to the college football playoff and maybe even winning this year here at LSU. And when you've got the two opposite ends of the spectrum, it's very difficult to really gauge what's going on and what's playing. Obviously, the offense is struggling mightily, at least in the first 2 games from what we've seen. However, I feel like the defense looks like it seems to be doing its job pretty darn well. Yeah, they gave up 27 against arguably the best running back in the country, maybe in the last decade.
Would have been 20. We had a fake punch the coach didn't agree with. John Linehan, great guy, trying to do a lot to rally his team. Probably not the wisest decision in hindsight. Gave him an easy 7 points. It was a 20-point game.
Correct. It was a 20-point game, and if the offense was even playing halfway like it normally has done in the last decade at BYU, that should have been BYU win. Right? That should have been 24-20 BYU win. Johnny Linehan doesn't have to fake that punt with 8 minutes left. And you're right, it's a completely different ballgame. But the offense just isn't doing what it's supposed to be doing right now.
Now, if you told me going into the LSU game that LSU running back Darius Guice, he's going to be in New York City for the Heisman presentation. He may even bring home Heisman. If I would vote right now, I'd give the edge to Joshua Rosen at UCLA, but Darius Guice would be second in that. If you had told me that we would hold Darius Guice to 122 yards, what is his average in that game? Averaging 4.5, above average for running back, but below the Carter-Dixon line of that 5.0 average. I would feel pretty good about our chances. But then I would also look at time of possession. BYU's defense was on the field 75% of that game. BYU's offense unable to stay on the field, unable to pick up first downs, unable to move the ball past the 50-yard line. For the first time, BYU's field past 100 yards total offense since LaVell entered season. Can this offense be fixed? What if so? How can it be fixed?
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily broken. I think what the issue was in the LSU game, I feel like we saw a lot of really good things in the Portland State game on the offense. We saw a couple running backs in Canada and Kamika Figueroa who are good and are strong. And what we did not see in the LSU game was any sort of confidence. And I remember last year there was a whole lot of chatter about whether we should bench Taysom and put in Bingham.
Oh, it was every day someone had an opinion on
The
that.
only thing anybody was talking about, and I was very strong on keep Taysom in. And I didn't necessarily lie. I just felt like we had to have Taysom. And watching the LSU game, that took me why. Tanner Bingham, as great as he is, looked scared. He came out, he didn't look like he was coming out to win a game. It looked like he was coming out to not get embarrassed with his goal. And the whole offense followed suit. And they weren't attacking and playing as if they had a chance in this game. And that's not something I ever saw from Taysom Hill. It didn't matter if they were 100 points.
You talk about Taysom here, I have to bring this up. Undrafted after really low production his senior season. Into the last man on the totem pole in Green Bay Packers training camp. Dazzles in the preseason. Tossing touchdown passes, running for touchdowns. Now, he didn't make the 53-man in Green Bay, but he has been picked up by the 53-man in New Orleans. He's an NFL quarterback. This offense was not producing the way an NFL quarterback that offense should have done last year, and certainly hasn't this year. At what point do we decide maybe it's a schematic issue versus a personnel issue?
You know, I don't know, and I think it's difficult because you've got two completely different personalities. The type of quarterback Taysom Hill is versus the type of quarterback Ted Magan is completely different. Taysom Hill, he's checking his first one, and if he's not got it, he's taking off. Ted Magan's going to check down one, check down two, check down three. He's going to go for the fifth option if he has to. And so I think it's difficult.
Each of those strategies can be faulted in a different way.
Correct, and I think Taysom struggled in the new Denver scheme that was brought in last year. And Taylor Magan also seems to be struggling in it. I don't know, I think it's yet to be seen.
I'll tell you my thoughts here. My thoughts driven on the BYU offense. There is a great hole, and I think this is going to be a problem against the University of Utah. We'll see what happens tomorrow. There's no number one playmaker. Throughout the history of BYU over the last 2 decades, with both success, the most successful seasons, they've had a long line of that one playmaker. Jamal Williams, Harvey Unga, Curtis Brown, receivers, Kaufman, Colley, of course the tight end line of Pitta, Judge, and Harline. It feels like BYU, particularly Tanner Mangan, does not have that one man who can get them an extra series of downs on third down, who can make a big play, get us some momentum. Does BYU have a playmaker on this roster? And if so, when are we going to see him step up?
I think he's there, and I think you saw him really well in Oregon State. You saw him a little bit in LSU. And I think any game now he's going to have a massive breakout game, and everybody's going to be asking him what's the state. It's the tight end Bushman.
Bushman, freshman tight end, fresh off his mission, coming up from Arizona High School. I don't have his exact high school on my notes. I should have. Is Bushman? How is he going to factor in the University of Utah game and for the BYU going forward?
He's the guy. Utah has, if you look back at the history of BYU Utah rivalry, one thing that has really been on BYU's side that has really helped BYU to the win, to the close games, is their tight end play. And so I think that this is the game where Matt Bushman is going to break out, kind of surprise everybody. I think that the Utah defense is going to struggle to contain Matt Bushman. However, I think that is contingent on BYU getting something going on the run game.
It's just to see. Got the however.
He's got to step up, or else we're going to.
Interesting note. Watching the LSU game, I thought Canada was not in his right mind. I thought he was having a difficult time. Looking at the stat line, he had 5 carries. It felt like a lot more because BYU's offense was so far in between. It's going to be difficult for BYU to get any of these running backs going if they can't stay on the field. Glad you mentioned Bushman. He's one guy that I picked as my player to watch. Also, Eula Tolata, the big, bruising freshman running back, Wisconsin transfer. He's been injured for most of the season. Coach is saying he's healthy. He's really well in Utah.
I'm excited to see him, especially because of the struggle we have with running against LSU, you know. And both Squally and Finnewa did great against Oregon State with it. And I'm excited to see what Tolata can do as well. See if he can pick up a few more of those big rush gains for us.
Well, moving on to BYU's opponent, we are running quickly out of time. I'm going to give you a quick rundown on what we can expect to see from the University of Utah. Then we are going to give our board predictions, our game prediction for rivalry repeat. So University of Utah, the thing is, but we don't know who they are. We've seen one game under this new spread offense. Whittingham made his money as a coach, just a power offense, beat the guy in front of you, win in the trenches. New Utah offensive coordinator Troy Taylor against North Dakota State almost always had 4 wide receivers, 5 wide receivers. And a new sophomore quarterback, Tyler Huntley, out of the state of Florida. Utah, since moved to the Pac-12, has really opened up the recruiting net coast to coast, it seems. We don't really know exactly who Utah is because they have only one game in this new system. But I'm here to tell you that they have that playmaker that we believe Matt Bushman might be. Utah already has Sterling Carrington, a transfer from the Oregon Ducks with a troubled pass, given a last chance in the University of Utah. He's going to step up. He's going to face matchup problems with BYU secondary, especially without Micah Hammond available in the first half for another touchdown. Similar to Utah, I would say we know about BYU. Portland State, FCS team, was only won 26. Portland State next week 2, well, technically week 1, 2 for Portland State and BYU. They were leading a Pac-12 team with 2 minutes left on the clock. Albeit a weak Pac-12 team, Oregon State, but leading them nonetheless. LSU, we don't know what LSU is. This could be the other 8 now, but they could go 13-0, and suddenly they'll be leading by 20, that's not so bad. Or they could be the 5th, 6th best team in the SEC, and really that loss against them look pretty big. I'll tell you this is why we need to move back to November. Talking to you, Dr. Chris here and Tom Homo. The build-up to the end-of-game matchup we had growing up in this rivalry is lost. This is basically a week 1, week 2 matchup with a lot of question marks. Vegas odds are favoring the Utes by 2 points. I'm traditionally favoring BYU by 2 points at the beginning of the week. It's all going to come down to some key matchups. What will be some key matchups for players to watch?
You mentioned it, it's Carrington against BYU's defensive backs, especially in that first half. If BYU without Micah Hammond can control Carrington, then this game is over for Utah. I think you mentioned that Carrington is their big playmaker. Carrington is their lead playmaker. If you look at what they did against North Dakota State, that was it. They had to go to Carrington over again against an FCS team that shouldn't have had to use their star player that much, but they had to over and over again, and that's because that's all they've got.
So it's a key matchup from Jordan Long, the BYU secondary versus Darren Carrington. Again, sophomore Tyler Huntley will be chucking the rock for Carrington. I have BYU's pass rush versus the U O-line. University of Utah offensive line last year graduated 80% to the NFL, an astonishing accomplishment. Whittingham puts offensive linemen and defensive linemen on the next level. That's been well demonstrated. They have an inexperienced offensive line and an inexperienced quarterback. The way you beat an inexperienced quarterback, we all know, it's pressure, right?
Yeah, it's talky.
You gotta get in his face. They're gonna have to find some pressure from some interesting places with Francis Bernard still out. Percifer and Hadley, great college players, but they're not going to stick around NFL training camp that long, whereas Bernard's going to make an NFL team guaranteed. So that is a huge loss. So I believe if Taki, Kafusi, Werner, and I'm completely blanking on the remaining linebacker, Butch Powell. I believe the key matchup is that front seven versus the Utes offensive line. I think, as you mentioned, Taki is my player to watch for BYU. For the Utes, I'll be watching Carrington, and on the opposite side, Chase Hansen. He was injured for most of our camp. Played against North Dakota, looked good, not great, not his usual self. The Lone Peak product, a big Lone Peak fan, I know you are. Do the Utes? We're gonna wrap things up here. Tell me what Utah wins if blank and BYU wins if blank.
Utah wins if they can hold BYU's rushing game similar to what LSU did. If they can keep Canada and Fanua and Tulutau and whoever, under 100 yards rushing for the game, then Utah's going to take it home. BYU, on the other hand, all they've got to do is score, I think. If BYU can score quick and score big, they'll win this game.
I like those predictions. I have for Utah the LSU recipe, the Bayou special. Just stay on the field with your offense. They say the best offense is a good defense. I say the best offense is a team is a. Look at me tripping over my words. Point being, if you're on the field, the other team's offense can't get points if they're not on the field. Is what I'm trying to say. So that is my key for Utah. If they can stay on the field, have these long drives. Think about last year. Fourth quarter, they had the ball almost the entire drive, a 15-play, 11-minute drive. Took BYU right out of it. BYU wins. Again, we kind of mentioned this. If they can get some pressure on Huntley, and if they can get Utes into those third and longs, those second and longs, and get off the field on third down. So that comes to it. Let's get a bold prediction from Jordan, and then we'll get your game prediction shortly thereafter.
Okay, my bold prediction and my game prediction aren't going to match up.
Okay, well let's hear. Everybody, pay attention. This is gonna affect the game.
My bold prediction is, you mentioned that we don't know a lot about Utah. One thing we do know about Utah is they gave up 4 scores to an FCS team. 4 scores. Yeah, 3 of those were field goals, but they got down the field 4 times and scored. BYU's offense may not be producing, but it's going to produce better than that. BYU's going to put over 35 points on the scoreboard.
All right, bold prediction. We're going to have a high-scoring game. Of note, North Dakota had 12 first downs. They were moving the ball a lot. They had total net yards of nearly 250, which is impressive for an FCS team, no doubt. They got down the field.
Sure.
I got a couple of bold predictions for you. Number 1, I'm predicting. Now, hold on to your hat here, Jordan. I think BYU is going to cross the 50-yard line. No, that's a joke. That's a joke. That's a joke. That's going to happen. Bold prediction. I believe Mangum will have 300 pass yards. As shaky as he's looked in the opening 2, again, we don't know. We really can't diagnose those opening 2 for reasons I've mentioned. And my prediction, Darren Carrington, that stellar receiver, in my opinion, the best receiver in the Pac-12, right up there with a guy named Pettis from Washington. He's going to have a 3-touchdown day. So it's going to be a pass-happy night. Mangum with 300 passing yards, Carrington for the Utes with 3 touchdown passes. And that'll make an interesting final score prediction, but Jordan, you go first.
Okay. I know I said my bold prediction is they'll score 35 plus. However,
okay.
If I were a betting man and I were going to bet on it, my score is BYU's going to take the 17-16.
17-16, a 1-point game. Of note, a little fun fact for you. With the exception of 2, with the Fiesta Bowl year, the Sugar Bowl year, and the Jake Heaps year, all the games going back to 97 in this series have been decided by a touchdown or less. So it's been 20 years since it's been BYU on the right side of a spread, 7 points or more. My final score prediction, and as much as it pains me deep in, I do think the Utes have all the momentum coming into this game. I got Utah 31, BYU 23. I think it's going to come down, be a sluggish game in the opening 15 minutes. Right before halftime, they're going to trade some punches. That'll carry into the third quarter. Then it'll get sluggish again right towards the end. Overall, I think the Utes have too many weapons. I think BYU, I think inch for inch they're a very even team. BYU has question marks. Utes have weapons. And now he just shakes his head at me.
I don't think Utah's going to put up more than LSU did, though.
Oh, that is a very good point. Well, we want to thank you all for tuning in, whether you've been watching live or we're watching our taped live at the Wasatch Football Show YouTube channel. My name's Calvin Johnson. beside me, Mr. Jordan Long. It is rivalry week, the biggest week in Utah football. Anything can happen, and it all goes down Saturday night, 8 o'clock. Once again, thank you for tuning in. Have a good day.